Coming up on 5 Minute News. Democrats clear path for approval of Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID package. UN officials warn of high risk of atrocities in Ethiopia. And ICC says it has jurisdiction in Palestinian territories. It's Saturday, February 6. I'm Anthony Davis. President Joe Biden and his Democratic allies in Congress forged ahead with their $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package on Friday as lawmakers approved a budget outline that will allow them to muscle Biden's plan through in the coming weeks without Republican support. By a party line vote of 219 to 209, the House of Representatives passed the budget plan after the Senate approved it in a pre-dawn vote. Vice President Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote in the Senate for the first time. Speaker Nancy Pelosi predicted the final COVID-19 relief legislation could pass Congress before March 15, when special unemployment benefits that were added during the pandemic expire. Meeting at the White House, Biden and top Democrats said they wanted to enact the massive aid package as quickly as possible to beat back a pandemic that has killed more than 450,000 Americans and left millions jobless. Biden said he was open to compromise with Republicans as long as they did not slow things down. I have to choose between getting help right now to Americans who are hurting so badly and getting bogged down in a lengthy negotiation. That's an easy choice. I'm going to help the American people hurting now, he said. A senior United Nations official warned on Friday that the risk of atrocity crimes in Ethiopia remains high and likely to get worse if the country does not urgently combat ethnic violence, stigmatization, hate speech, and religious tensions. UN Special Advisor on the Prevention of Genocide said she had received reports of serious human rights violations and abuses by the parties to the conflict in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region and their allies. These include extrajudicial killings, sexual violence, looting of property, mass executions, and impeded humanitarian access, adding that she'd also received disturbing reports of attacks against civilians based on their religion and ethnicity in other parts of the country. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed ordered airstrikes and a ground offensive against Tigray's former ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, after regional forces attacked federal army bases in the region on November 4. The TPLF withdrew from the regional capital, Mekelle, and major cities, but low-level fighting has continued. Both sides deny their forces have committed atrocities and blame other forces for the killing of civilians. In the region of more than 5 million, thousands of people are believed to have died, and 950,000 have fled their homes since fighting began. UN Aid Chief Mark Lowcock warned the UN Security Council on Wednesday that conflict in Tigray could trigger broader destabilization in the country and that a dire humanitarian situation in the north was set to worsen. Judges at the International Criminal Court on Friday found the court has jurisdiction over war crimes committed in the Palestinian territories, paving the way for a possible criminal investigation despite Israeli objections. The decision prompted swift reactions from both Israel, which is not a member of the court and rejects its jurisdiction, and the Palestinian Authority, which welcomed the ruling. The United States objected to the decision. ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda said her office was studying the decision and would decide what to do next, guided strictly by its independent and impartial mandate to prosecute grave war crimes and atrocities when countries are unable or unwilling to do so themselves. The ICC judges said their decision was based on the fact that Palestine has been granted membership to the tribunal's founding treaty and had referred the situation to the court. The judges said the jurisdiction decision does not imply any attempt to determine Palestinian statehood, which is uncertain, or national borders. She named both the Israeli Defense Forces and armed Palestinian groups such as Hamas as possible perpetrators. She said then that she saw no reason not to open an investigation, but asked judges to first rule on whether the situation fell under the court's jurisdiction. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu denounced the decision, saying in a video statement, "When the ICC investigates Israel for fake war crimes, this is pure anti-Semitism." Human Rights Watch called the decision pivotal and said it finally offers victims of serious crime some real hope for justice after a half-century of impunity. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.